I hereby call this meeting to order at 8:31 p.m. In the absence of Secretary Schaus. PRC Grimpe, can you please call roll?
President Four.
Here.
Vice President Jacobs.
Here.
Executive Secretary Schaus. Webmaster Harmon.
Here.
Executive Treasurer Lorenz. Here. Executive Aide Allison Pacha. Assistant Treasurer Doyle. Senator Dollison. Senator Lennon.
Here.
Senator Walton.
Here.
Senator Hernandez-Gary.
Here.
Senator Hertzberg. Senator Wilcoxon.
Here.
Senator Maldonado.
Here.
Senator Neiman. Senator Pariso.
Here.
Senator Westphal.
Here.
Senator Abraham. Senator Hillebrand.
Here.
Senator Robb.
Here.
Senator Bahada.
Here.
Senator Mandel.
Here.
Senator Williamson.
Here.
Senator Ward.
Here.
Senator Cavendier.
Here.
Senator Backery.
Here.
Senator Melton.
Here.
Senator Howard.
Here.
Senator Sedlar. Senator Flanagan.
Here.
Senator Demir. Senator Velasquez.
Here.
Senator Kamra.
Here.
Roll has been called.
Thank you. Moving on to public comment. Are there any public comments here or on YouTube? Seeing none, moving on to approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve or amend the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Moving on to senators' reports. Are there any senators' reports tonight? Let's at least give one. Senator Pariso.
I know President Ford or Vice President Jacobs might mention this later on, but you all should have gotten an email today if you're part of an organization about the Student Org Banquet on May 1st. And Student Senate is helping to plan that and host it. So please attend if you can. There is a limit to, I believe, 4 members per organization.
Except for students.
Oh, except for Student Senate. We're all invited to attend. Thank you for the reminder and report.
Thank you, Senator Pariso. Are there any other senators' reports tonight? Seeing none, moving on to advisors' reports.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Just wanted to let everybody know that I think there were a couple of issues related to lighting and parking that came up with the president. So the president's putting together a group of administrators. Dean Blevins will serve on that group from Student Life, and they're going to meet, I think, after Easter and be open to students who also attend that meeting to hear about issues related to some of the freshman parking over at the Lot 37 3D lot and some of the lighting issues on campus. So that'll be happening after Easter sometime. That's all I have. Great, and thanks.
Thank you. Moving on to officers' reports. President Ford.
All right, so Vice President Jacobs and I have been busy the past 2 days. Yesterday, we met with VUTV and the Torch. We had another interview regarding our funding system and how that relates to our new bylaws. There was some confusion at our last interview a week prior, so we wanted to make sure that the right and correct information got out to the student body. So they were willing to meet with us again, and we were able to do that interview successfully. We also met with President Padilla this morning, and we talked about a variety of topics, including the move of the OMP to Low Cobb. We talked about some graduation updates for seniors. Those will be coming out in the next few weeks. So if you are a senior or you have senior constituents, please let them know if they have questions about graduation regarding masks, no masks, but that communication will come out within the next few weeks. We also talked about the light and parking concerns. So I'm glad to see that that's being addressed. We also attended the Campus Life Committee today, and for those of you who don't know, that's a meeting with a bunch of different people from the university, including the board of directors. So we were able to meet and tell them a little bit about what Student Senate has been working on and how the students are feeling on campus. I also have recently contacted someone from the Valparaiso City Engineering Department. We were told that this is our next step in going about finding a solution for SR001 FA21. So that is the crosswalk at Mound Street and Linwood Avenue. So I am waiting to hear back, but that is our next step in that process. All right, I know that was a lot. Do you guys have questions about anything? All right, and report.
Thank you, President Ford. Moving on to my report. So I just have one thing, just make sure that any SRs you are working on right now are making it to exec committee by next week, because we only have 3 remaining Student Senate General Assemblies after this one. So to be sure that we are passing that on time for you, make sure that you're getting that SR to exec by next week. Exec takes place in the Board of Directors room in the Christopher Center Library at 3:30. If you are interested in bringing SR to exec, please contact President Ford. Just please be sure that you are getting those done on time and getting it to exec next week so it can pass in old business on time. All right, that is it for me. Moving on to Secretary Schaus, there is no report, so moving on to PRC Grimpy.
Just to let you know, Webmaster Harmon and I are continually updating the website. We're creating a lot of draft pages so that they are ready to go. Once we get some new senators in here, we can fully integrate the new bylaws into our system. So those pages will be ready to go then. Are there any questions? Cool, and report.
Thank you, PRC Grimpy. Moving on to Executive Treasurer Lorenz.
Hello, just wanted to remind everyone that the deadline to submit expenditure requests is going to be Friday, May 6th at 5 p.m. Thank you.
All right, moving on to Webmaster Harmon.
No report.
So moving on to committee reports, Executive Committee Chair Ford.
Like Vice President Jacobs said, if you have an SR that you're working on and you want it to pass by the end of the semester, please come to our meeting next Monday. It is at 3:30 to 4:30 in the Board of Directors room in the library. And report.
Moving on to Finance Committee Chair Pariso.
Alrighty, so a couple of things tonight. First, all of the budgets are in now. The commission, so media programming and club sports meetings will happen this week. And the finance committee will bring all of those budgets to Senate, presented in my report next week, Monday, April 18th, and then voted on April 25th. And we do have one thing to vote on tonight. So the situation, I'll explain the situation, then I'll explain the vote, and then we can go from there. So VISA, which I think is the Valco International Students Association, asked to get more money, I believe, for their World Banquet a while back, like in the summer. So they were funded part of it, and then they asked for additional funding. They were told, I believe by President Ford, that they could apply for DFC at a later date, but they didn't want to extend that extra funding while there was still so much money left in their budget. I do not remember how much. So then, when they tried to apply for DFC this cycle, it seems that they misunderstood what was meant about them being able to apply for additional funding via DFC, because what they ended up applying for was not the World Banquet, but in fact a Syrian cultural night for $125 and a international student gifts for their annual international student celebration. That is for $500. And when we talked about this in finance today, we talked about how it was a unique situation. They didn't seem to really understand what they could apply for or not for DFC after getting the email from President Ford. And especially with presence being a kind of new thing and being in a transition period, finance decided to motion or to think about allocating money from the Senate's budget, so that would be $625 in total to Visa's budget in order to fund these events. It was voted on 5-0-0, and if there are any questions, because it is a confusing, unique situation, I'd be happy to take them. If not, if anybody wants to make a motion, that is welcome as well.
Is there a motion to discuss or a motion?
Motion to vote.
Okay, there is a motion to vote. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of voting, please say aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, now all in favor of moving $625 from remaining funds in the large pot of funding to Visa for what Senator
Syrian
Frizo?
cultural night and then the international student gifts.
Yes, that. $625 to Visa for that. Please raise your placards. All opposed? Any abstentions?
And then we'll,
This passes 21-0, so that was a 7/8 vote, and that passed narrowly, so Visa.
so then I will let Lisa know that, and then are there any other questions for me regarding any budgeting and financial matters? Seeing none, and report.
Thank you, Senator Friso. If any of your constituents have finance questions right now with our new financial model, please direct them to Senate.finance. Moving on to Administration Committee, Chair Flanagan.
No report.
Moving on to Committee on Media, Chair Williamson.
No report.
Moving on to Screening Committee, Chair Beckery.
No report.
Moving on to Committee on Residence, Chair Abraham.
Hi, basically I wanted to talk a little bit about what was discussed during the core meeting, just so you guys have like a little bit of knowledge about what the committee believes currently. So we had a collab with SAFE to address some of the incidents that happened in GM. So that was something that we did after certain incidents occurred there. So to actually address the issue head on, we decided to do something about that by collaborating and having a presentation. We also would like to say that the committee supports the light study and really would like to see something come of that, especially around the area near the parking lot. That is an area without too much light. And we're also thinking of adding Velcros to the showers because they kind of get really moldy and like mildewy if you don't do that and you don't close them all the way. So that might be something that aids in that problem. And finally, I would like to encourage you all to let the constituents know that they should try to attend like all of the end of year events, because that would be a great way to build community in a post-COVID Valpo.
Thank you, Senator Abraham. Moving on to Dining Services Chair Dallison. Says dining meeting with Parkhurst will be held this Wednesday, the 13th at 3:30 p.m. Everyone is welcome to attend. My committee, please check your emails regarding our meeting. Thank you. All right, so moving on to Diversity and Inclusion Committee Chair Howard. Moving on to Discretionary Funds Committee Chair Rob.
Okay, we have 4 proposals that DFC and Finance have voted through. The first proposal is extra money for the water bottle fill stations in Berg, or Langnau. Basically, the cost of these went up after their DFC proposal from last time was approved. So this is just additional funds to finish covering that. Second one, DFC voted 400, Finance voted 500. The second one's for scooter racks. These are essentially meant to address the issue with a lot of people leaving scooters in sort of the entranceways of a lot of buildings because they don't fit well on the bike racks. It's hard to secure them there, and it's not good to just leave them unsecured outside. But they're blocking foot traffic, so facilities would like to about $5,000 to install those at several key locations where this has been an issue. DFC voted 400, Finance voted 500. Next was the audio booth. Essentially, this would be an audio booth installed in Schneibel Hall that will be run by communications faculty and staff. And essentially, it'd be open access for students as well as for classes in order for people to record things such as podcasts or other voiceovers. DFC voted 400, Finance voted 500. The last one is renovations to the south patio. That's the patio directly behind us, facing the chapel. This would add gas-fed fire pits, 2 of those, along with some extra lighting for the area to make it more appealing to students. It would be a space that could be rented out by different orgs if they wanted to, so reserved sort of like the lawn areas, or just used freely by students. We are almost entirely funding it just because of the restrictions of how much money is left in the DFC pot. But the applicant said they would be able to do pretty much all the renovations, even with the amount we're giving them, which is about $38,000. And DFC voted 400, Finance voted 500. Are there any questions about any of these proposals?
Are there any questions for Senator Rob? Okay, is there a motion to vote?
Motion to vote as a slate.
There's a motion to vote as a slate. Is there a second? All in favor of voting as a slate, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? All in favor of approving a water bottle stations in Lincoln for $1,795.50, for scooter racks for $4,000 or $4,991.95, an audio booth for $5,350, and a south patio renovation for $37,998.64. Please raise your placards. All opposed? Any abstentions? All proposals passed 21-0-0.
Awesome, and with that, DFC has spent the entirety of the funds during this semester. Thanks to the rest of the committee for helping with this, and thanks to all of you guys for voting on everything. End report.
Thank you, DFC committee. That is a fantastic achievement. So great job for all of your hard work this past year. All right, so moving on to Elections Committee Chair 4.
All right, this is just a reminder that if you are running or you know someone running in the election, electronic signatures and petitions for candidacy are due tomorrow, so April 12th at midnight in the Senate office. And then also another reminder that elections will take place on April 20th and the ballot will be open from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Any questions about election stuff? And report.
For any of you running, or if you know anybody running, just make sure that all elections questions are sent to senate.elections and not anybody else on the elections committee. So just make sure all information and questions are going to Jolie at senate.elections. All right, so moving on to new business, we have something in new business today, bylaw proposal 001, SP22. So if Senator Parizo, the sponsor, would like to come up here and discuss that.
Hello, everyone. It's me again. This is the proposal calling for per diem system clarification. So when we did the update of our new bylaws, this part was left out. So we just want to make sure that it's clarified in our bylaws and there's no confusion in the future. So it just clarifies what can be funded through this per diem system and how much money they'll receive for each part of the reimbursement. So they have meal reimbursement qualifications, approval qualifications, mileage reimbursement, lodging reimbursement, airfare reimbursement, and so on. And I think we will vote on this next week.
Yes, so this will be, so Senator Parizo is just discussing this. The reason why we bring this up now, Senator Parizo brings this up now, is so that this takes place for the next school year, because if we were to keep this bylaw proposal until next year, it wouldn't take place until 2023, 2024. So this is why Senator Parizo brings this to General Assembly now after our revision.
Are there any points of inquiry, questions?
What exactly is the per diem system?
So it's a way that Senate determines, so when people go to like conferences or events, it is a system that dictates what can be funded. So for example, how we handle the funding of gas mileage, how we handle the funding of airfare if they need to travel on a plane instead of a car, what reimbursement they get for meals, and stuff like that. So it's kind of a guideline for how people are reimbursed for conferences or outside of university events.
And to be clear, that this system is in our bylaws, in the new bylaws that we have passed, and these were in our bylaws that we are currently under right now. Just in the new revision, some of the more specific details were left out in the revision. So we're just making sure that those get put back.
Any other questions? Seeing none?
All right, this will be moved to old business next week and voted on. So thank you, Senator Parizo, for catching this. So moving on to old business, there is none. Moving on to public comment, are there any on YouTube or in the audience? Seeing none, moving on to. Sure.
Sorry, you guys, I just don't want to be confusing. I said post-COVID, we're still dealing with COVID. I just wanted to clarify that. Sorry.
Thank you, Senator Abraham. So moving on to postmortem. Like I said earlier, we have 3 General Assembly meetings left. May 2nd will be the last General Assembly meeting, and this is where we will swear in our new administration and new General Assembly. So just be wary of that with any remaining work that you guys want to do, including SRs, pilot proposals, constitutional amendments, any of that. So just be cognizant of that. And then if you celebrate, I hope you all have a happy Easter and enjoy some time off, hopefully with your families, or if you're staying here, enjoying it with some friends. So if you celebrate, have a happy Easter, and then we'll see you on the 18th. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? I adjourn this meeting at 8:45 p.m. Thank you all.
Ready?
Yeah.